Morning everybody. Hi. Just sorting my camera out. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so good morning. Welcome to Monday's Coffee and Card. Apologies to those of you that were waiting for me last night. I really wasn't very well yesterday. Terrible headache and I just went to bed, but I feel a lot better today, so thanks for everyone for your lovely comments. Today I'm going to be using the Snowflake Wishes stamp sets. This was what I planned to do last night, but it's now today's coffee and card. So I'm going to be using the Snowflake Wishes stamp set, and I'm going to be doing a one sheet wonder tutorial for you. So one sheet wonder is where you basically start with one sheet of cardstock and you do some stamping and it forms all your backgrounds for a couple of cards. So there's lots of tutorials for this on Pinterest and social media and different Facebook sites, Facebook groups, so it's really popular and it's really fun. I've done it with quite a few stamp sets, but I'm going to give it a go with Snowflake Wishes today. So I'm going to flip my camera around so you can see my desk and then we can get started. So bear with me a moment while I get that set up for you. So stay there for me. Okay, I'm back, so hopefully you can see my desk. So what I have here is I have one sheet of Whisper White cardstock and I have some ink pads. So I have Seaside Spray, Balmy Blue, Highland Heather and Pool Party. So colours that go really, really lovely together, and these complement the colours that are used in the suite. So in the actual catalogue, the August to December mini catalogue, which is where this suite is shown in all its glory, the colours that they've used are listed here. So Highland Heather, Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, Balmy Blue, Pacific Point, Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. Really lovely colours, really rich, vibrant blues. So yeah, I'm going to give a one sheet wonder a go today. Excuse me. So I still have a bit of a cough. Excuse me, it's taking a while to get over this cold. I feel like I've really been in the wars lately. So I'm just going to open up all my ink pads, and then I have here a selection of stamps. So in this set you get 8 snowflake stamps on their own, and then you get some little ones as well. So I've just picked out a selection of these snowflakes for us to use. I don't have a before because I'm going to do this completely live with you. So I'm just going to get all my stamps out, and I'm going to do this in a way that has been done. I can't remember the lady's name. Her name is Ruth, and she does a beautiful one sheet wonder design where we're going to stamp in a cross section. So always start with your largest image, and my largest image is this one here, so you can see that just like that. I'm just going to grab a stamping mat, because these are photopolymer stamp sets. You want a little bit of give under your surface, so I've just got 2 stamping PS mats. These aren't in the catalogue, but they are available to purchase still. Got a dimensional stuck to one, how lovely. Turn that over, so that will give us enough room. And then I'm going to lay my grid paper. Right, so I'll have that there like so, and then I'm going to lay my grid paper over it because I don't want to stamp on my PS mats. So we have our little setup here, and then we're going to start stamping. So we always start with your largest image, which is this one here, and I'm going to stamp that in Pool Party. And I'm going to go through, so imagine that the card is 4 quarters, so I'm going to stamp first of all down the middle like so. And these stamps are distinctive stamp sets, which means you get a lovely amount of texture on your image when you stamp. Like so. and then I'm going to stamp that way as well. So it takes a while for this to build up, but I also want to leave some white space as well. Okay, so what I've done is I've stamped in a cross shape along both middles, and now we can bring in another colour. So again, I'm going to the next size down, and I'm going to stamp this in Seaside Spray, and just stamp between your images. I like that colour. Seaside Spray is from our In Colour collection from last year, so these are still valid, still current for another year. Our In Colour collections come out once a year. They're 5 new colours that are kind of on trend, and they stick around for 2 years. So you can start to see the little build up of pattern, like so. And then moving on to the next one, I have this little one here, which is really sweet, and we're going to go in with a different colour. Let's use Highland Heather. So Highland Heather is a purple, and I think it's just beautiful. It really reminds me of Frozen, Highland, and these snowflakes. Oh, I've done the wrong colour, because do you know what, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you stamp over your images, because that's kind of what this technique is about. Okay, so it's starting to build a picture. Just checking out the comments, what people are saying. So Baz has said, watching on TV while I help Josh with his homework. His whole year group has been told to stay at home this week because of one positive set. Oh Baz, I'm so sorry. All this COVID stuff, it's getting a bit worrying again. I hope he's okay, Baz. And enjoy the homework. What are you learning about today? Fill us in. So I'm just filling in these gaps. And I've purposely left a lot of white space, and all will become clear as to why I've done that shortly. Okay, then I have one little one left, which I've used all my colours, so I'm just going to grab another colour. I'm going to grab Balmy Blue. No, I have Balmy Blue. Let's grab... I've got soft seafoam, so just a really light green. Just to add in a few little ones, and actually that's quite sweet. Just filling in those gaps. Like so. So we now have it looking like that, really busy. I'm just going to close all my ink pads. So I do really like these colours. I think they all complement each other really, really nicely. Most of them are from our Subtles collection, but there's a couple added in there from others as well. So now I'm going to grab my trimmer, and this is where it starts to kind of come together, and you'll get the idea of what I'm trying to create. So let's just take out those Stampin' mats as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into 4 pieces. So I'm going to cut half of this sheet is 10.5 centimetres. I'm going to cut straight down the middle, and then half of this way is 14.9 centimetres. I'm going to cut that way. So we now have some card backgrounds that have this lovely detail all around. 14.9. And now I'm going to trim this down. I'm just going to take 1 centimetre off this, because our card blanks will be the same size as that. So I'm just taking 1 little centimetre off the top and the bottom, and it's up to you which way you take that off. Just do that on all 4 pieces. So Baz has put, Josh is fine. Oh, she's helping with the glue. I'm glad it's something creative, Baz. Good way for you to use up some of your stash as well. Okay, so I nearly finished this. Like so. So now we have our 4 sheets, we can make our card bases. So you'll need 2 sheets of A4, and we're going to cut these. I'm going to score them at 10 and a, I'm going to score them this way, actually we'll do 10 fold cards. We're going to score at 14.9 centimetres, and then we'll turn it round and we'll cut at 10.5. So that will give you 2 card bases out of 1 sheet. Do the same for this one, so turn on the landscape side, we're going to score at 14.9, and then on the portrait side we're going to cut at 10.5. And that's how I tend to cut all of my card bases. And if you want book fold cards, you just reverse the measurements. So for our first one, this then becomes our layers, like so. So we have 4 of those. So fold your card bases, burnish the edges. That's really important with tent fold cards because you want them to stand up straight. So like so. 2, 3, and you can, with this technique, you can change the way you have them. So on this one my stamping is down the left hand side and at the bottom, and on this way it's along the top and down the left hand side as well. So you'll get a few different looking cards. Now when you've got them there like so, you can clearly see if there's any gaps or if you want to add anything more. So on this one there's not much purple, so what I will do now is I will add just a little bit more, and the reason there's not much purple is because I stamped this one here in the wrong colour. So the purple one was this one, so let's just add a little touch of purple like so. Okay, and then I've got a bit of a gap here, just adding in a bit more colour. Just checking the comments while I've got a second. So Baz has put, no one touches my tombow unless they're experienced using glue. Well, I hope Josh is behaving himself with that glue. It is super sticky stuff. So I'm quite happy with what I've got there now. So now I can add these to my card fronts. And this will work with any sort of background stamps as well. So one of the sets it really works nicely with is Blossoms in Bloom, which I was rather obsessed with at the beginning of the new annual catalogue coming out. And this sort of idea is a really good way of, if you wanted to do a set of note cards for someone and give them as a gift or sell at a craft fair, this is a great way of doing sort of cards that really go well together, or cards that match. It doesn't use a huge amount of stock either. So now what I have is I have a lovely white space to add in our sentiments. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting. So I'm just going to grab a set of dies, and I want the Stitched So Sweetly dies, which are just here. So these dies here are Stitched So Sweetly, and they're a lovely little set. And we have this die here, which is one of my favourites. I'm just going to check that our sentiment will fit onto it, and the sentiment I've got is, pull this one off, may your season sparkle. So yeah, that will fit really nicely on there if we turn it up the right way. So I just need to cut 4 of those. Which I'll do on my die cutting machine behind me. I won't bring it in because it does make my screen wobble. So we have 1. These dies are really handy. They're a great shape, and there's lots of different sizes to choose from as well. 2. Oops. And then once we've done this, we can do a little bit of stamping, and I have some embellishments to add as well, which I've already die cut out ahead of this. Okay, so here we have our 4th one as well. So the stitching on these is really clear. I really like this, and they come out of the die really nicely. So now we can do a little bit of stamping, and I'm going to stamp this sentiment in Highland Heather, so our lovely purple. Now this says, may your season sparkle. I think that's really sweet. And this is if we can see how straight I can, that's not too bad actually. So may your season sparkle. And this is picking out the accent of Highland Heather that we've stamped one of our snowflakes in. Morning to Denise. Hi lovely, hope you're okay. Three and 4. Okay, so we have our stamped sentiments. Just grabbing some dimensionals, and we want a little bit of ribbon. So this ribbon is the iridescent ribbon that comes with this suite, and it's really hard to show you on camera because the sparkle on this is just beautiful. The camera and the pictures really don't do it justice, so we can put this roughly about there. So I'm just going to add some dimensionals to these. This is what I call kind of conveyor belt crafting, that you do everything in a certain pattern, and it's great for when you're doing sort of multiples of the same design. So I'm just going to cut this ribbon down a little bit. I want to add that to there. I can find the end of my washi tape. You can use washi tape or you can use double-sided, whatever works for you. I am running low on washi tape, and Stampin' Up no longer sell it. I'm just folding this like so. I'm doing a little bit of a crisscross there. And then snipping that end off. And this just adds a really lovely something extra to your card. It's more texture, like so. And if you wanted to, you could just give that a snip there. It's pulled out. And I am going to do that actually. like so. So that's just more sparkle. So we'll do that to this. And again, you don't have to add them, your ribbon, all in the same way. You can just use what you've got. So this one, for example, has just been added on the right hand side. I so wish you could see the sparkle. So morning to everyone who's joined. I can just see a few people have just joined. We're doing a one sheet wonder class today, and I'm using the Snowflake Wishes suite of products, and I'm sticking with the kind of similar colour scheme that is shown in the catalogue. I'm just sticking my ribbon down on the back. Okay, so there we have our 4 card designs, and I said I would add some embellishments, and I'm going to do just that now. This is something else that you really can't get the sparkle of. It is super, super sparkly. This is the Balmy Blue glimmer paper, and I've used the Snowflake dies to cut these out, and I think these are just exquisite. I'm just popping out the centres. Just lovely. So we can now add a little sparkly snowflake to our card, and I've got different sizes here to give you a bit of an idea, and I've also got some plain ones, but I think the sparkle is just what we need. Okay, so let's stick these on. I'm going to use glue dots for these. So for the glue dots, you can just about see it there, and I'm pushing my finger down so that it picks the glue dot up, and then we can just add that to our card like so. And then the next one we'll do the same. No Baz, no fussy cutting today. Are you sad? I feel sad. I do love a bit of fussy cutting. And then these large ones are just amazing. So just be mindful of where you're putting this, that it doesn't kind of take over your sentiment. I'm actually going to put that on the base as opposed to on the sentiment. And then this one, this is actually my favourite snowflake. I think it's really delicate. Like that. And then the last thing that's left to do is to add a couple of embellishments. Now these come in the same pack, and you've got the darker blue and the lighter blue, but I definitely think we need the lighter blue, and I'm just going to add kind of one to the mix of this. There's lots of sparkle on there. And there's 2 different sizes, there's little ones and there's big ones, but I do like these big ones. So there we have our finished card fronts. Now all we've got left to do is the inside of our cards. So I'm just going to grab a piece of Whisper White, For some reason I only have thick there. I'm just going to grab some thin. Okay, so I'm going to go with the same measurement that we used for the outside. Oh, your rhinestones, the middles. I haven't used them in the middle. No, I've just used them kind of randomly on the card, just so it adds a little bit of something extra. So I like the smaller snowflake better. I do agree with you, Monique, completely. The smaller snowflake is much nicer on this design. The big one I think is just a little too big, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the sizes that come in this set. So we now want to cut our card bases. So we want 9.5 centimetres wide. 9.5, and then we want 13.9. 13.9. You've got a little bit of scrap there for some to go in your scrapbooks. So we can stick these in. Hi to Simone, thanks for joining us. I hope you are keeping well. We've done a little one sheet wonder today using Snowflake Wishes. Monique, you're right, absolutely. Great, great for bulk making or gifting. Yes, absolutely. So if I was giving these as a gift, I would do a little bit of stamping on the envelopes, and I would use a belly band or one of the acetate card boxes to put them in, just to finish it off as a little project to then give out as a gift. Okay, now I think the middles now look really, really boring because it's just plain white. So do you remember these bits that we cut off at the beginning once we'd stamped our sheet? I'm going to add this to inside my card, like so, just to give a little bit extra, because we all like a little bit extra. So we just took 1 centimetre off of this, didn't we, if I remember? Yeah, so there we have it. And if you wanted, you could also add something like that, but I'm just going to leave mine with just the one piece. Okay, so for this one, let's add this. So just take a little centimetre off. Just trim that down to 9.5. So we're using all our waste bits. This one here, so I'm just alternating between vertical and horizontal pieces. Anne's put she likes how I've used my scraps. I don't like a lot of waste, I won't lie, but thank you, Anne. Oh, see, that one's cut a bit short, so we'll turn that round and we'll add that one to the bottom. Like so. And then this one, so that's already the right length, so I must have trimmed some of these down before I cut them off. Okay, so there we have our one sheet wonder. I've got 4 of these left, but 4 out of a piece of one card. It's not too bad, is it? 4 little pieces. So here are the cards that we've made today. So 1, 2, 3, 4 from our one sheet wonder. So we originally started with 1 sheet of Whisper White, and we stamped in a, I can't remember how this went now, like that. So if you imagine that was our stamping, we stamped down the centre of that card and across the middle in 2 bands, and then we cut them down into 4 background layers to make our set of cards. So that's everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed these cards this morning and the technique. If you love to give it a go, I'd love you to share what you've put together. It's always nice to see what other people make. If you have any questions about the products or techniques that I've used today, feel free to drop me a message. I'll try and reply to comments shortly. I do appreciate everyone taking the time to spend a bit of time with me on a Monday morning. I will get these uploaded to my blog this week as well, so you'll see everything all there. So that's it from me. I hope you have a lovely Monday. I will be back on Wednesday evening at 8:30 with another Snowflake Wishes design for you. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks everybody. Take care. Bye.